March 1st, 2019 was a very exciting day. I traveled from the US to Brazil. The plane ride across the waters and countries were very smooth. While on the plane, I had a nice dinner which included steak, potatoes, and green beans. This meal was not fulfilling, but it did the job. A few hours into the flight, I found myself typing some of my book, Mental Mindset. After a few pages in and a glass of wine, I was asleep. 9 hours of flight time and a music playlist. Surprisingly, I rested okay. All right, so I am in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and going through customs was a lot easier than I thought it was. It was a long line, but it took about 10 minutes. All right, so now I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do for the day. The previous day I had a couple hours sleep. I just got a couple hours sleep on a plane. I'm not really feeling tired right now, but I think it's gonna catch up with me. Day one in Brazil starts the moment I got out of the Uber car and began to explore the middle of the city. First order of business was Ibirapuera Park. This park is a campus of different museums, play areas for children, nature areas, and much more. One of the most beautiful and spacious parks I've seen. Mesmerized by the park, I found myself exploring for hours. After exploring the park, I met with one of my yoga friends in Sao Paulo. We had conversations about how yoga has begun to change the world for the best and how practicing has changed so many lives. After hanging with my new yoga friend and exploring downtown area by foot, I took a 2.5 walk to the hostel. So right now I'm doing some sightseeing at the Ibirapuera Park. So this particular park is where I'm going to be having my class tomorrow. So I'm just kind of doing a little bit of sightseeing for now. I got a feeling I'm going to be seeing a lot of statues here with the rich tradition that Brazil has. So we'll start with this simple one here. This was the first picture I snapped, playing around after that picture and a little exploring. So as you can see, this park is amazing and I've only been to like one corner of it. So now I'm going to meet up with the yoga buddy I have here in Brazil. He's teaching a class I think at 11. So I'm trying to make my way there, get on the correct side of the street so I can catch an Uber.
This is a big avenue in Sao Paulo, Paulista.
Alright, so I am at the shopping center 3. I just had Brazilian food for the first time. It was actually pretty good. Now I hear you're supposed to eat beans with every meal. I don't know if that's true or not. You guys let me know, but the food was pretty good. During the walk, there was so much to see and so many people of different ethnicities and backgrounds. After about 50 minutes of walking, I arrived to the hostel. I was greeted with open arms, and the community and the staff got me set for the stay. So it's day number 1 in Sao Paulo. I've been here for several hours and I'm just really enjoying the views. I'm enjoying the culture. I'm enjoying the people. People here are pretty nice so far. Alright, so I am walking to the hostel that I'm staying in. I still haven't been there yet, so I need to get checked in, rest up a bit, get out of the rain, relax, recoup, then get back at it. I was surprised that the staff spoke English and they informed me they learned English through rap and R&B. I was given a tour of the hostel and I was impressed by the layout. The main colors used in the hostel were black and white, giving the place an exclusive feel. After getting settled in and taking a few hours nap, I began chatting with the staff. What do you know, the hostel had a bar. So you can see we also have the bar in here, and you can kind of take a look at the room I'll be staying in. Guys, so I'm staying at the We Hostel. I just got a tour of it. It looks really nice. I got the room for maybe like 12 bucks a night. I've been doing the whole hostel thing now when I go to different countries. So if you come to Brazil, you come to Sao Paulo, you can check out this hostel. Day number 2 started with a cold shower and organizing my material for the yoga class. After scrambling to get things together, I finally exited the hostel and began my journey. Walking the streets of Sao Paulo, I noticed so many people up working, preparing for a busy day. All right, so this is day number 2 in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Right now, what I'm gonna do before I actually teach a class here, gonna check out one of the most infamous monuments in the world. See you when we get there. A few left and a few right turns, I finally make it to Ibirapuera Park. While entering the park, I noticed many policemen and event workers setting up for the biggest day for the yearly carnival. Vendors had arrived and it seemed early in preparation to make some income as business owners. The first objective for me was to see the famous monument of the flags. I wanted to see the monument the day before, but I was tired and needed rest. All right, so it looks like there's gonna be some festivities going on, probably in celebration of the carnival. All right, so one of the best things about Sao Paulo, Brazil, I don't know if it's like this in Rio yet, but not many people speak English, so that forces me to have to learn some Portuguese while I'm here. So obrigado means thank you. Não fala Portuguese means I don't speak Portuguese. So that's one of the great things about being here. I finally approached the monument. The monument was nice in size, but a little smaller than I envisioned it to be. Very excited to see the monument, I began to examine while taking pictures. All right, so I am at the Monument of the Boundaries, sculpted by Brazilian Italian Victor Bricheret, which was he was a famous sculptor, most famous obviously for this particular sculpture here. So it's very I don't even know what to say. Like, to see it in person finally is amazing. All right, so now seeing the monument I wanted to see, it's time to get prepared for the yoga class. Gonna meet up with my good buddy Sebastian. He's gonna be helping me with the class, so got about another 15 minutes walk. We'll meet up with him. All right.
Explain to you.
Before meeting up, I began to walk around and explore this huge park more. There were so many people skating, biking, running, practicing yoga, walking their dogs, spending time with family. So now we just finished up class. Time to get a bite to eat in the MAM Museum. After the meal, I took a walk back to the hostel. I noticed the festivities for the carnival starting to pick up and watched the Brazilian residents dance and enjoy themselves. All right, so it's about 3:41 in the afternoon. This is a time I would assume, since it's Saturday, that the carnival is gonna get really crazy. So I'm in Sao Paulo right now. Tomorrow I'll be in Brazil. I'll be in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. So we'll take a look and see how things are looking right now as far as the carnival in Sao Paulo. at 3:41 in the evening, which is still kind of early. After watching the residents dance and enjoy themselves for a while, I finally start to walk back to the hostel and prepare for the flight to Rio de Janeiro. I packed everything I need for Rio and requested an Uber driver. The Uber driver was pretty laid back and got me to the airport quicker than I thought. I get to the airport about 5 p.m. The flight scheduled time was 8:25 and I wanted to make sure I had plenty of time to do everything. While at the airport, I began to think about how much more advanced other countries are with their airport services. It only took me about 5 minutes to get through security, which was very unusual for me. Well, it looks like the party's getting started early so far, so I'm sure in a couple hours it's gonna be really crazy. Day number 3 was one of the most adventurous days of my life, but it was a little rough to get to Rio. Alright, so last night at the airport was pretty crazy. So I know there was a bad storm. I think the flight was delayed 3.5 to 4 hours, so I got to Rio, I don't know, maybe like 1 something in the morning. But today I'm gonna do a little bit of sightseeing in Rio, teach a yoga class, and just see how the rest of the day goes, you know, learn a little bit about the culture and whatnot. I'm currently waiting on the Uber driver as I fill my body with apple, banana, and water. All right, so I'm up bright and early, maybe about 4 hours of sleep, and I'm headed to see the Christ the Redeemer statue, hopefully, or at least I'll be at that park. So if I don't see it today, I'll see it tomorrow. So let's see if I check it out today or not. I noticed how much smaller and natural the fruit is in Rio. Seems to be GMO free and the way fruit is supposed to be. The Uber driver arrives and he is constantly trying to get around roadblocks and traffic due to the carnival. Finally, we arrived to the entrance of Christ the Redeemer. I decided to take a tour of the area and paid the tourists about $30 for a tour of the entire mountain. After taking pictures and footage on the way up the mountain, we finally get to the top of one side of the mountain. I am absolutely amazed by the view and anxiously began to take pictures. After a few snaps, I hand the phone to the tourist and he snapped a few pictures of me. Afterwards, we head over to the other side of the mountain with the same Uber driver, and he has become a part of the tour. Oddly enough, I seem to believe that they all work together on this. The tourist leads me to the other side of the mountain where the actual Christ the Redeemer statue is. He leads me to the counter and I paid about maybe $15 as entry to get to the top of the mountain. After a 40-minute wait for my actual group to go up to the statue, it was finally time to go up. I enter a minibus van with about 10 other foreigners to ride the rest of the way up. We get to the top and I frantically run to the top using the stairs. There was an option to use the escalator, but my patience was not there to wait. Amazed by the size of the statue, I get closer and closer, finally reaching the top of the mountain, coming eye to eye with this massive statue.
Copacabana?
Okay.
Copacabana? Agora, é difícil. Agora, vamos pro reto. Eu só...
I examine the statue, take pictures, hang around a bit, and finally make it down to the bottom of the mountain. Having 30 minutes to get to the next destination, I request another Uber driver. The Uber arrives, drops me off, and I make it to the Parque Lagoons to teach the yoga class in Rio de Janeiro. All right, so as you can see, I made it to the Christ statue. It was a nice run up. Once we got, I don't know, maybe 1/12 the way up. You have to walk or you could take an escalator up. So I chose to run up. It's pretty big, bigger than I thought it was gonna be. The statue was really nice. Now I'm headed to Cafe Lague which is where I'm having people meet me at the class. Well, hopefully there'll be a class. I know it's busy. I came at a bad time, so we'll see if someone shows up. Hopefully at least one person to show up like yesterday. Again, I know it's the middle of the carnival. I didn't know this until maybe a few days before coming here, so just make the best of it. People come, they come. If not, they don't. I'm still having fun. All right, so I'm waiting on my Uber to come. I'm gonna try to do a little Portuguese. Let's see how it goes. Marcus. Yeah. Now fala Portuguese. Okay, obrigado, amigo. So I am now about to enter Park Lage, and I mean it looks beautiful, like a rainforest. All right, so before I show you the rainforest, I am in the area where the cafe is, where we're going to meet. So check out the view here. After conversing for a bit with the students, we head over to the destination for class. The class turned out to be great. We flowed, opened up the hips, worked on some inversions, ended the class with acro, and finally went into savasana. After class, I head over to botanical gardens and hang out there for a few hours. Words cannot explain how beautiful this area was. I've never seen so much variety of vegetation, even viewing the many different birds and monkeys that were around. My experience here is something I will take with me for the rest of my life. $2,000 worth of stuff.
No.
Yeah.
I just have it in case of emergency. Just for that.
All right, so now at the botanical gardens. I know some of you guys are looking for a big party. I'm not really into all that, but see what the botanical gardens has to offer. Botanical gardens was so peaceful. The air seemed to be clean. It was a way to kind of get away from it all. I had a great time playing with the turtles. This was my actual first time feeding turtles, which was a very nice experience. Again, the vegetation was unbelievable. The variety, again, I mean, the words can't even explain. And having met up with two new friends from Argentina, we embraced each other's culture. It was pretty easy to break the communication barrier.
I love those palm trees. Like the
With
ones
the
that
big
are like
leaves.
crowns.
Yeah,
I love them.
the leaves are really big. Okay, this is the real Jurassic Park. Copacabana Beach was the next destination to grab a bite to eat. This was a 30-minute ride over to the beach from the gardens. Upon arrival, I noticed how beautiful the landscape is. Along with that, many different people were around. Keeping in mind this was the weekend of the carnival, it came to me as no surprise the number of people out and about. All right, now Copacabana Beach is where I am. Also, the area is known as Copacabana. I think I'm saying it right, so I'm starting to see a lot more people in the video now.
We just have to choose somewhere to eat around here.
Coming to a conclusion on what to eat, we decided to go with the seafood platter, the lemon juice. While eating, I embraced the Brazilian culture with different performances and games the locals participated in. After eating, I hang out a bit, it begins to pour down raining, and then I head back to the hotel for sleep. As you can see, even the rain doesn't stop the party in Brazil. When a carnival comes, it comes with a vengeance, and they just do not care. Over the next few days, I decided to take it a bit easy as I head over to the lagoon. All right, so this is my second day in Rio. Now I'm at Copacabana Park. I think I'm saying it right. So this is like the lagoon area. So there's basically like a, I don't know if you want to say like an oval shape. So what's the shape? I mean, the mountains kind of surround, there's buildings around, and I just wanted to really check out the scenery. I'm gonna do a nice yoga flow here to kind of get my day started, and let's see what today brings. Words can't describe how beautiful the lagoon was. I had seen pictures before online, but nothing compares to seeing it in real life. After viewing the lagoon, I can't help but go through an advanced yoga flow, followed by some calisthenics training. After completion of my routine, I fuel my body with some amazing fruit, which is what I had majority of the time there. I decided to walk around the entire lagoon to see all angles of this beautiful scene. While on the voyage, I noticed many different birds and different ethnicities hiking the open trail that surrounds the lagoon. After walking around this amazing trail, I head over to the Brownie Cafe where I have a pasta dish with chicken, broccoli, and kale. Of course, I have a brownie too. With the ice cream, I walk around a bit more in the lagoon area, request an Uber driver, and make my way back to the hotel for the day. All right, so I've gotten the day started, the yoga flow. I've had bananas and apples to eat. Been trying to kind of cut back on the garbage. This is a great opportunity to kind of start things over. So next, I think I'm gonna check out another park. There's a couple of them in the proximity, so I'm really wanting to see more of the natural part of Brazil. As you can see, the green here is just amazing. You know, I know a lot of people want to come here just to party and, you know, enjoy the nightlife, but I'm a little bit different. I'm not old, but I've been around long enough to where that type of stuff doesn't do much for me. Sometimes I'll go out, but I don't know, it's just really on what you're into at a particular part in your life. That's just it. All right, so I attempted to make it to the municipal national park, I was not able to get in. Obviously, as you guys see, the gates were closed. I'm assuming the gates are closed because of the carnival. So it appears to me that when the carnival is going on, a lot of things are shut down. So maybe next time. All right, so I am back in Sao Paulo. I'm going to give you guys some of the takeaways from me being in Rio, and this is just personal. Of course, everything is not perfect in life. So we'll start. So the first thing I would suggest is get cash, but you want to have small bills, right? So you want to use small bills. So you know, when you're exchanging for your money, they're going to try to give you hundreds and fifties. Make sure you guys get 20s, 10s, and 5s, because what happens is, let's say if you have a taxi, for example, and you give them a $50 bill and you want change back, you probably won't get the change back. Now, you can raise hell if you want to in another country. I decided not to, so that's the first thing. Make sure you get smaller bills. Next, learn some Portuguese before you get here. Now, if you don't, like I didn't, you're gonna have to learn Portuguese or some form of Portuguese while you're here, because many people do not speak English, French, or Spanish. More people I think speak Spanish. But you want to make sure you learn some kind of Portuguese. Like I said, if you don't, you're gonna be forced to, which is a good thing. I've enjoyed that. Next, I would say, if you get a taxi late, or even if you have an Uber, you can't expect them to drive safely. It's like there's no rules on the road, you know, for you know, the drivers that get passengers to their destinations. I mean, they're running lights, they're driving on the wrong side of the road. I mean, they're just doing anything they can to get you, it seems, as quick as possible. I know time is money for them, so you know, your safety should come first. If you can find another form of getting around, maybe a train, which I know is kind of hard to get to all places, just keep that in mind. Next, I would say Brazil overall has a rich culture, and the residents here take things seriously. So like, I came here during the carnival, which I didn't know anything about until a few days before I got here. So if you're planning anything during a traditional event, you know, and you expect people to come out, they probably won't come out. So tradition rules over any and everything. All right, so keep that in mind. Also, for me, you know, Brazil, Rio, even Rio, it's more than just a party. You know, I know a lot of you from other countries want to come here to party. You know, some of you want to come here just to have sex with beautiful women. Some of you ladies, you know, you may want to come down here and have sex with different men, or whatever you guys are into. If you guys, whatever you're into, obviously you can get into that. So I said all of that to say this: if you're gonna go to Rio, there's a lot of greenery there, there's a lot of nature. So for me personally, I'm at a point in my life where, and I've been here for a while, I want to enjoy nature, right? So I want to be renewed, I want to be refreshed, I want to be away from the chaos. I want to enjoy the earth as it is. So I spent a lot of my time in Rio in nature, you know, going hiking different trails, going to the botanical gardens, going to different forests, you know, hiking mountains. So those are some of the things that I did. So if you're into that type of stuff, you can definitely do that. Everything is not always a party, so if you want more peace, um, a little more quietness, then this is also the place to be. The difference between Sao Paulo and Rio, obviously Rio is more of a party city. Sao Paulo is more laid back, it's more reserved. I mean, you can party here too, but I view Sao Paulo as more of a touristy shopping type of city. So if you like to shop, Sao Paulo is the best place to come. If you want to be more relaxed, Sao Paulo is a good place to come. I'm not going to say it's more relaxing than Rio. Again, Rio it's relaxing, but you have to go to the relaxing places. If you don't, you're in the city, things can be crazy. So it's really all about what you're into. So that's my take on Rio. Sao Paulo, I'll do my take on it in a later part of the video. All right. So it is now Tuesday. Don't quote me on this. March the 5th, I think is the correct date. And the party is still going on. It's maybe 10 o'clock in the morning. And they're up partying, ready to go. So the carnival is pretty serious. All right, so you can see they're getting everything set up. I'm gonna come back a little bit later once more people come, but as you can see, there's a ton of vendors. I think this strip goes about maybe a half-mile long, so we'll come back a little bit later once more people are here. All right, so a takeaway I have for Brazil overall is the food-wise, everything is in smaller portions compared to America, so you get a portion that you need, not what you really want. Another takeaway I would say is there are a lot of smaller cars I see riding around, obviously, which is more efficient. All right, Sao Paulo is a very, very big city, so I think it's more efficient to have smaller cars. So efficiency seems to be a big thing here. That's all I have for now. All right. All right, so a few other things I've noticed here is public affection seems to be a thing. So, you know, whether I were in Rio or especially Sao Paulo, public affection, you'll see it everywhere. It's like people have nothing to hide. They're not afraid to just be them in front of everybody, you know. So that's one thing that I really enjoy seeing if I had to keep it all the way real. While back in Sao Paulo, I head over to Ibirapuera Park where I explore more and find myself flowing near one of the most beautiful trees I've ever seen. Following up the flow, I bought freshly poured coconut water right out of the actual coconut. This was my first time having natural coconut water, if I had to guess. My thoughts at this point are I never want bogus coconut water again. Following up on this excellent experience, I head over to the carnival. It's Tuesday at 1 p.m. and people are everywhere by the thousands. Dancing, drinking, conversing, kissing, grabbing. I notice people are having the time of their lives. So I just finished up flowing in front of this beautiful tree. I've never seen a tree with the bark or the base of the tree look like this. I mean, it's amazing, and I just couldn't help myself. I really was inspired to do a float here. All right, so I am coming back up on the carnival. It's a few hours later. I'm gonna head back to the hostel, but as I'm heading back, I'm gonna walk through the carnival so you can kind of see how it looks on a Tuesday, pretty much midday. So let's check it out. All right, so I'm entering now, so let's see what we find.
Ó, mas a bolsa tá assim, ó.
Olha a água da gelada, descongelada, olha a água da...
Olha isso, convite, água mineral, refrigerante gelado. Olha, o refrigerante é 2 por 5, viu, patrão? Faz a festa. Refrigerante gelado, 2 por 5.
Olha esse convite gelado aqui.
Olha a cerveja, a escola, olha a água. Cerveja, amiga, escola, água.
Olha esse convite do amor.
Gelado é aqui, ó.
All right, so I think I'm getting closer to the crowd now. There's so many people, and this strip is so long. I don't know. We'll see.
Hoje também por aqui. Gosta, quem gosta? Eu quero gritos, gritos. Vocês já beberam bastante? Já beberam bastante ou ainda não? Eu quero ver pinga no corpo de vocês hoje. Quero ver dançar, quero ver pular e aproveitar. Oi.
Mas tenho muito tempo. Temos todo o tempo do mundo. Todos os dias antes de dormir, lembro e esqueço como foi o dia. Sempre em frente, não temos tempo a perder.
O sol, vê se não esquece, me ilumina, preciso de você aqui. Toda vez que você sai, o mundo se distrai. Quem fica ficou, quem foi vai, vai, vai. Quem foi vai, vai, vai. Preciso de você aqui. O sol, vê se enriquece a minha melanina. Só você me faz sorrir. E quando você vem, tudo fica bem mais tranquilo. Oh, tranquilo. Que assim seja, amém.
Mais muito bom, por favor. The natural coconut water is amazing. Definitely doesn't taste like the stuff we get in the U.S. Here's some footage of one of the flows that I did at the hostel. There were people around, but I mean, when you're in a hostel, there's going to be people around. But I still didn't want to have any excuse to kind of get a flow in. I wouldn't say that I flowed every day, but what I did do for myself was write in my journal. So, you know, writing in the journal was a way to kind of, you know, keep yourself ahead of the game, keep yourself going in a positive direction, you know, reinforce positivity. And this is what makes your day go by pretty good. So it's all about you setting the tone, and it's your responsibility to do what you need to do in order for that to happen. And also coming up, you're going to see some of the workouts that I did while I was at the hostel. I've been more on a body weight tear lately. Weights I haven't done in months. If I had to guess, it definitely was in the previous year sometime. I don't know. I think I'm getting to the point now where I want to kind of stay lean and not really be heavier than I have to be. So in a lot of this footage, you'll see me just doing body weight exercises, primarily push-ups, you know, squats to kind of hit the legs, other different exercises to kind of keep your body lean and not be so heavy and uncomfortable.
Since we get up on the road foot, you not fucking with it now? Fucking talk kind of shit there. But I like you, man.
Obrigado. Desculpa. Now fala Portuguese. So that was me in my attempt to speak Portuguese as I was leaving. I finally arrived back to the U.S., which I didn't want to come back. I had a great time, and I want to thank you guys for checking out this video. Please subscribe, and I'm out.